Now, there is no doubt about it that With Love, Meghan as a series by Netflix most likely is going to be the worst production in 2025 by Netflix. There's no doubt about that. Between everything that happened with the test screeners, with the internal drama, both behind the scenes as well as the drama in the public eye, this show has a lot of problems as it's dragging, and the latest has a lot to do with Pamela Anderson. We talked about that and how Meghan Markle did indeed copy a lot of elements of her show, Pamela's Cooking with Love, and dragged it into her very own series. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. You can also follow me at Mike01. I thank you all so very much for the great and kind support. So, one major flaw about this series is that, well, the entirety of the show is flawed, right? There's really a lot of things going on with the show when it comes to the acting, directing, writing, producing, and the marketing, most of all, because we know that the marketing is basically non-existent at this point because of all the marketing cutbacks, with the funds getting cut back by the board, and a lot more involved there. However, Meghan Markle's recent behavior toward the reviews, in particular, the internal reviews, is best described as a production nightmare. Let's get into this, shall we? Now, we already know that Meghan Markle is trying to do everything in her power to save this show at all costs. She wants to remain in the limelight, she wants to remain in the spotlight, whatever you want to say there. But this is really the beginning of the end when it comes to Netflix and their overall partnership with Meghan Markle. Meghan can say that Netflix is on her side all she wants. What she's talking about are the board members, alright? Roughly 40 to 50% of the board that are standing up for her. Slowly but surely, more and more members are turning basically their backs on her. They want nothing to do with her anymore. But let's get into the meat of this. Now, with Netflix already frightened of the release date for With Love, Meghan, especially after all the internal and public drama that took place throughout the months of January and February, one massive development that is going on right now involves Meghan Markle's reaction to the final internal reviews for With Love, Meghan, as the final test screening recently took place, and as expected, it was a complete disaster for everyone that worked on the show. It turns out that the final test screening that was observed by screeners involved all 8 episodes in one sitting, as opposed to the previous screenings that were done for episodes in increments. Now, the final test screening was labeled as holding, quote, abysmal acting, subpar line delivery, phony looking sets in certain scenes, along with continuity errors on a grand scale at that, and even labeled as one of the worst productions by Netflix in years. Already, these internal reviews from screeners toward Meghan Markle center into a complete meltdown, where in the most recent creative meeting for With Love, Meghan, she blamed CEO Greg Peters for obtaining the wrong screeners suitable for With Love, Meghan, and that Greg Peters was incompetent in his search for the right viewers to take part in the screenings. Now, Markle is already blaming the screeners themselves as being very biased and believed them to be critics in secret, when in reality Netflix had both hand-picked screeners and randomized ones mixed in. Now, Meghan also blamed her own marketing team, get this, the same ones that she chose after convincing Netflix to fire the previous marketing team, and blamed them for not properly putting together a well-suited second trailer that Netflix was happy with, and blamed her own marketing team also for why the series is not getting any word of mouth. So guys, let me just point one thing out here. You guys may recall about a month and a half ago, Meghan got things done her way. She convinced the board of directors to fire the marketing team that handled the first trailer of With Love, Meghan. She put full blame on them for why it was getting the backlash that it got. And basically the board was duped. They believed that there were valid reasons behind the flaws in the editing or the flaws in the way that it was created for the trailer, and they believed that Meghan Markle had a point, when in reality, it was nothing more than her being very petty and trying to scapegoat and create another reason as to why the trailer was getting dumped by the general public. So now, even the next marketing team that she handpicked herself, that she actually had that allowed by the board to handpick her own marketing team, even those now are getting scapegoated. This just goes to show you exactly how far Meghan Markle is willing to go to really blame anybody but herself, and that really is where it all goes in the end. Now, the scapegoating, get this, alright? The scapegoating of everything here is best described as hitting an all-time high. Now, Meghan Markle believes that the screeners were being unfair to the point that she demanded Netflix to make a sudden delay for the series from March 4th until April 2nd. So there's another thing, is that she wanted the series to be delayed yet again, an entire month basically, just under an entire month, for With Love Meghan. Alright, that basically happened back in January, you guys may recall. I believe it was supposed to debut on the 15th of January, correct me if I'm wrong on that, might have been the 25th, but they pushed it and they delayed it until March 4th, just 3 days from now. It's going to be quite interesting. The board is not falling for it. They want nothing to do with the delay. Hence, alright, this is where things pick up now, is that, however, the Netflix board refused Meghan's demands and claims it is far too late to make that decision. As a result of this Netflix of drama, of course, and how they are cutting back more marketing funds for the show after the terrible internal reviews that sent Markle into a frightened state, to where she herself, of course, is now beginning to cancel certain, but not all, interviews about her Netflix show and her future with Netflix. So it seems like that Meghan Markle is actually getting very embarrassed, you know, behind the scenes and now in the public, because now she's beginning to cancel some of her interviews that she had lined up to promote With Love Meghan, to promote her partnership with Netflix, to promote her series in general. And though, like I said before, not all interviews are being canceled on her call or by herself, basically the important ones are now getting X'd out by Meghan Markle's demand. She wants nothing to do with it anymore. She doesn't want to be seen answering questions about specific elements of the show. And I think it really is very revealing, because now it's beginning to show you that how big of a failure this show is really going to be, and how Netflix really just can't seem to get out of this corner that they're boxed into. So again, in conclusion here, this is where it really gets interesting, is that some board members remain on Meghan's side. However, more and more members are officially now switching sides after witnessing her behavior and the awful reviews from screeners, as well as the drama happening with Pamela Anderson and her show, Pamela's Cooking with Love. Regardless, March 4th will be a historic day for Netflix, and not for the good. So, look, like, when I say historic, I'm talking about we're going to see a backlash that we have never seen when it comes to Netflix. We saw this with the trailer. You're going to see it again with the release of the show. And the internal reviews are already completely backfiring on Netflix, to the point that they have to actually cut back more funds for the marketing of With Love Meghan. Ask yourselves this: have you seen one commercial for this? Have you seen one ad or TV spot for With Love Meghan on television or on the internet? Not so much, right? Well, a lot of that is rooted to the marketing cutbacks by Netflix, by the board, and of course by CEO Greg Peters, really convincing the board to do those cutbacks. So they are frightened, they are in panic mode over all of this, and it's really, you know, hitting back at them at this point. And I think that Netflix deserves this at the end of the day, because they were very stubborn in the very beginning when Greg Peters was warning them ahead in advance. You know, really warning them ahead of time that this show was going to be an abysmal failure, that maybe, just maybe, they should just cancel it outright. But no, the board did not want to listen to that. But overall, I would like to hear what everyone has to say about all this below in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.